Good afternoon, folks. This is Juan with the J&R H Railroad out of Abilene, Texas. We're looking at a Athearn F7 model, Burlington Northern. You ever wonder how to light up those old engines without having to spend a lot of money? If you buy a new one, you can get them with all kinds of lights. But we've outfitted this engine with some LED lights, and that's what our video is going to be about, is LED lights and your model railroad. First, we want to show you on that Burlington Northern, we have a warning light. It's a yellow flashing light. We'll talk about that in our series. That is a surface-mounted device light. The next light we have is standard engine light, headlight. That LED is a warm white LED light. In addition, we have some surface-mounted devices, LED lights. They're flashers, and they have an unusual flash rate to them. And it's something that we'll discuss a little later, but you'll be able to see them. So when you turn all of the lights on, you get your engine ready to roll. We'll turn on our headlights. High beam lights, main light. We have quite a display of headlights on this engine. It looks very realistic. It's a very simple, not necessarily easy thing to do, but it's something that we're going to try to help you go through with on the process. So with that, we're going to move into identifying our LEDs. We have engine 2264 that we're going to do some LED installations on it. Actually, we've already done them, but the next slide will show you where we position some of them. The lights that we're looking at are the surface-mounted devices. They call them SMDs. That may not be technically accurate, but that's the way they come in on the item number on where we buy them. Those are two surface-mounted devices. They are a warm white light. Now, one of the reasons you can tell that, if you look closely at them, you see they have a yellowish tint to them. So all of the warm white lights have a opaque yellowish tint. Actually, we have another engine. This is a different view, a rear view of a rear light, just looking down from the top to give you an idea of the size of it. We are looking at a yellow flasher. It is an SMD, surface mounted device light. This is the way it comes. It has wires attached with a resistor. This has a flash rate of 1.5 hertz. We're looking at a close-up of that surface mounted device. As you can see, they are very tiny. The wires are very tiny. They are very challenging to work with, so you have to use caution. Next slide. This slide, we're looking at the way these LEDs come. They come 5 to a pack. This happens to be a yellow flasher again. These are available from HDA Model Works. There's an online site you can go to. Just type in HDA Model Works, it'll come up. Again, we're looking at a close-up of the 5-pack. I recommend that on all LED projects that you check that the light is functioning. You can use any type of low voltage supply, 6 or 12 volts. Just remember to use the appropriate size resistor. Normally it's going to be a 680 ohm resistor for a 20 mil draw LED. In the background you see a plastic container that I used to put my 5-pack SMDs in. They're very small. They don't fit in anything else very easily. So if you can find a container that size, it works out very well. We have another view of the little plastic containers that I use. I really don't know where we got those. We got them years and years ago, but I'm sure you can find some out, maybe in the fishing tackle area in this Walmart, different stores. We took the opportunity to do a close-up of how we label these little containers, and that's using a little 3x5 card, index card you buy at the office supply at Walmart. Felt tip pen, put your part number, what it is. Then when you're ready for something, you can find it fairly easy. Again, we're testing our LED to make sure that it functions. Saves a lot of problems down the road. This is a picture of what I call a homebrew power supply. It uses a gel cell battery, some resistors that are connected on a little PC board, and it allows me to test LEDs using various combinations of resistors. Neat little tool to have. You want to rig something up, even a 9-volt battery, but you need to be sure that you have the resistor in it. Took a picture of the invoice that we got from HDA Model Works out of Harlingen, Texas, just to give you an idea of the stock that they have and the part numbers and how it looks when it comes in to you. So you might find this useful. Our next slide is going to give you their address, but again, you can go to the website, just type in HDA Model Works and they'll come up. This is a view of my workbench area. I suggest that you develop something that works for you. It's just nice to have everything together. Sometimes it helps if it's organized, sometimes it doesn't stay organized, but that's what you're looking at is my tool area. This is a view of my tool drawer. This is actually a Sears roll around tool cabinet, and I use assorted plastic containers to put these LEDs in. You'll find it useful if you have a large inventory of them. You can use a little colored paint to color code them as to which ones are red. I mark them, classify them, whether they're flat top, round top, or SMDs. Another view of our assortment of LEDs. And again, you can see I've colored with acrylic paints. It just makes it very easy to look in. So if you're looking for a green round LED, then they're all together and you can find them. All right, I wanted to throw this slide in. This is the tool drawer in that Sears cabinet. And I'm using these, again, plastic boxes. I think they're about a 3" by 3 or 2.5 by 2.5. And I use them for various things besides LEDs. It makes it easy for you to see, particularly if you have small wires, just little bits and pieces that you accumulate. So you can let your imagination run away with you, but you do need to try to find some way to easily identify these things and be able to locate them. The next few slides are some other tool drawers that are in that Sears roll around tool cabinet. And you can find various dividers and trays. Kitchen divider trays are good sometimes. Various uses of your tools and being able to find them is a key thing. Again, I use some colored acrylics. This happens to be orange. I use orange for my coupler box. So everything that relates to couplers, um, be it screws or be it the couplers or whatever, is in this drawer and it's easily identified. Another drawer that I use is for larger things. The blue and yellow bin trays are produced by a company called Acro Mills. At least I think they're still in business. You can find these in various supply houses, but they're good for putting larger things. This particular shot is an overall of the roll around tool cabinet. Sits next to my bench. I can roll it to and fro as needed, and it makes it just very, very handy to work with. This is a picture of a LED that's called a flat top. It's a green. When these LEDs come in, they are all clear mostly. There's no identifying markings on them to tell you what color they are, so unless you power them up, you won't know. I'm going to show you in another slide how I uh, catalog these things and keep up with them. This view is a close-up of a flat top LED. You may be able to see a green tinge on the base of it. We'll be able to show you a little bit more in another slide, but these are small, and this is what they look like. This is a view of that green flat top LED with power applied to it. And if you'll notice, up in the upper right hand corner is my little container that I keep those in. Has a little screw on lid, keeps things together. This is a slide of a round top 3mm LED. It is a new one that I have just stumbled onto. It's called a warm white pulse fading. It's rather unique. I do not have it demonstrated on this particular video. I don't think I do. But it's a 3mm. 3mm is a common size that I use for all of the HO gauge equipment. Works very well. This is a round top. Same round top, a little different perspective on it so that you can clearly see. It is round on the top where the other one was flat on the top. This slide is a view of a 5mm round top. This happens to be red. And most of these 5mm back in the old days, they were red or they were green. You knew it because the plastic was that color. We're looking at a 5mm, a 3mm, another LED on the far right, which is a bicolored one. There's all sizes and shapes of LEDs out there, so you have to use your own judgment and decide what's best for you, but that's what a group of them look like. You'll see next to that is a fingernail file and a pair of tweezers. Those come in handy when working with these things. We're looking at a double track overhead signal lighting system. This is a kit form, but the kit does not come with LEDs, and those LEDs are some bicolored ones that I had in my inventory, and they are probably going to be difficult to find, but there may be some out there.